And welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. I thought I'd talk again about the Star Wars fighter vehicle toys. And as you know, I'm going in reverse order, talking from sort of Return of the Jedi going back to the classics of the first film. And so this is the bad guys. This is the TIE fighter for Return of the Jedi, specifically the TIE Interceptor. It's the fastest TIE fighter in the Imperial fleet. Okay, so yeah, there really wasn't much else to say about the TIE Interceptor, so I thought I'd combine this actually and talk about both the TIE Interceptor and Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, and a third vehicle as well that there was never a toy made of. Why am I doing so? Well, we're going to get to the standard classic TIE Fighter as I get toward the original very first film's fighter craft, but I thought let's talk about these guys because they both sport this curved wing design. Why did they do that? Why did Lucasfilm make TIE fighters with this sort of curvature to them compared to the classic TIE fighter? And where is that third vehicle I was mentioning? All right, well let me just backtrack a hair here. The TIE Interceptor, introduced in Return of the Jedi, was supposedly the fastest, even faster than a standard TIE fighter. The expanded universe goes into a lot of detail about how they made it better than the standard TIE fighter, etc. As I've mentioned before, though, I don't put a lot of credit into the expanded universe info. You can Google all of that stuff, but I think basically they wanted to spruce up the TIE fighter design for the third film, and so they stuck the Darth Vader octagonal shape to or hexagonal shape to the wings. Here's the box that I originally got, and I will zoom in on the price tag, which I believe is on this side here. Again from the Bay, obviously where I get all my Star Wars vehicles. $34.99. So the TIE Interceptor from Return of the Jedi. Darth Vader's TIE Fighter from the first Star Wars film, New Hope. There's sort of one in between the two. Again, there was never a toy made of this. There was a third TIE Fighter with this curved wing design, and that was the Imperial TIE Bomber. I'm going to insert a shot of both the original model here, and also this is how it appeared in The Empire Strikes Back during the asteroid scene. But unfortunately there was never a toy made for the TIE Bomber. They just went straight from the classic TIE Fighter to Darth Vader's TIE Fighter to the TIE Interceptor. There was one toy made of the TIE Bomber. It was a die-cast version, which was a small series they ran of these vehicles slightly smaller, not for the actual action figures. I'll insert a picture here of how much the die-cast TIE Bomber goes for these days on eBay. Yeah, pretty expensive, so no, I don't own one. But yeah, TIE Bomber is kind of the one between these two that I think would have been nice to include in this video. Unfortunately, they never made one for the action figures. What else can I say? So there is one interesting difference. You would think, okay, well these are practically the same toy, slightly different color of the gray outer hull. By the way, I'm doing this in a more brightly lit situation than the other fighters I've done, just because since these are sort of darker looking vehicles, like physically darker, much darker gray, I don't think they'd show up on the black background as well. So I've got a white background here just to emphasize what these guys look like. One interesting difference, though, I mean, you can tell here. Let's move the Interceptor out of the way for a sec. You can tell here with Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. They just took the classic TIE Fighter toy center cockpit area and stuck these shaped wings on it. The reason is the original model of the one from the movie has this sort of rounded exterior back, and that doesn't exist on this toy. This is exactly the same mold as the white first run TIE fighter, the one we will get to eventually. So when they came to make the TIE Interceptor, though, they made a slight variation, which I thought was always kind of odd. In addition to the wings being a different shape, they stuck this ventilation in the cockpit. So if I show you here, there's these holes here, which actually, I mean, there's the little seat where the action figure would go, but these are like open ventilated holes, and I don't really understand why they did that. But other than that difference, and you can see where those holes would have been on the original toy, you can see there's the lines there for them. Other than that, they are identical pieces of plastic. Now, a final mention about the wing design, and the TIE Bomber again makes an appearance here. I had always wondered, why did they change up Darth Vader's design? Let's move the Interceptor across. I always wondered, why did they change Darth Vader's TIE Fighter from the standard? And then it just sort of occurred to me, it makes sense cinematically. You want to easily tell the audience which one Darth Vader is flying versus the standard TIE Fighter. So you've got to give it some kind of different external look. And so therefore, the curved wings just make sense from a film point of view. Here comes Darth Vader's TIE Fighter as opposed to the other TIE Fighters. This is the one to be really, really afraid of. But this design with these wings, which was again included for the TIE Interceptor, was actually from something Joe Johnston had in a sketchbook. And he released it in 1977. I'll insert a picture of what that sketchbook looks like right now. And here's the piece of artwork that is kind of interesting. So that vehicle was called the TIE Boarding Craft, and that was in Joe Johnston's sketches early in the production of the very first film. So it predates the TIE Bomber by years, and yet you can see it looks a lot like the TIE Bomber that we eventually saw. Again, I'll bring up Joe Johnston's sketch, and what the TIE Bomber looked like. You would think those are both the same vehicle, but years separate them. So when they were designing Darth Vader's TIE Fighter here, they obviously decided, well, we need something to differentiate it. I know, why don't we use that idea Joe Johnston had of the hexagonal-shaped wings, just to differentiate Vader's TIE Fighter. And so that's what they ended up doing. They clearly decided that was a nice signature way to improve the TIE Fighters, to go from just the standard flat winged unit that we're all familiar with. So the Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, the TIE Bomber, and the TIE Interceptor all sported this hexagonal sort of design. Very, very cool, and I thought it was a neat way to just combine several of the alternate TIE Fighters together in one video, compared to going into a lot of detail, which I'm going to repeat or go into in much better detail when I talk about the classic TIE Fighter, and that'll be coming down the road when we get past the other fighters that are still to come in this series. So until then, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.